Hi doll fans, guys and dolls, how are you? Today I want to talk about Bratz Boyz. This is Bratz Boyz topic. I want to talk about the future of Bratz Boyz, what I'd love to see. I, for one, would love to have a Bratz Boyz line, a fresh take on the Bratz Boyz of these 5 characters, and the changes I think could be made to make them more desirable for the younger audience, as well as, us older fans who have been here since the beginning. I've always loved the Bratz Boyz. I was absolutely obsessed with Bratz when they came out in 2001, and then when they announced they were doing Bratz Boyz a couple of years later, I think 2003, I was obsessed. I definitely wanted Bratz Boyz. I didn't want it to just be all about the girls. So yeah, I mean, here's my 5 characters. You got Ethan. I know his name is Ethan, but I say Ethan. We've got Kobe. We've got Cameron. We've got Dylan, who's going to be a very big subject here in this video. And we've got Cade. So they're not wearing their original outfits. They're just randomly dressed. Though I think you're wearing your original trousers and belt. Yes, so anyway, so we're going to get into this now, and let's discuss the changes that should be made to make these more desirable for the future. And here we go. Right, so I think what I would love to see from the Bratz Boyz in the future, for future references, I want to see articulation in the arms. I think articulation in the arms is going to make these dolls more desirable because we can pose them. It's actually really cool to have a posable boy doll, and if you've not seen what that looks like on a boy doll regarding a Bratz doll, I'll show you. And here is my Bratz Boyz Cameron. He's a Cameron doll I made from an entirely different doll, rerouted him. Yes, some people have asked questions about why his hair's so big and crazy, and it's all to do with his character if you've ever followed the Chloe and Cameron storyline, Chloe Scarlett stuff about her husband. You know, there's reasons behind why his hair's so big, but I'm not getting into that today because it's not about that. So I actually rebodied him onto a bigger Bratz body, which I will show you the bigger Bratz boy body in a minute. And I actually cut off his arms at this point here and put on the LOL OMG boy arms. I got my partner to drill a hole in the arm, and I put the arm pegs in there so he could now pose. So now he can pose. He can, he's bends at the elbow, he's got the wrist, so he has got the LOL OMG boy hands. He's currently got his hand in this pocket at the moment, so which makes posability really fun. So it just makes posability so much cooler. There's so many other cool little poses you can do. I'm not going to do all that now. But yeah, he's posed here. So this Dylan actually is a part of the Scarlett family. So he's a Smith too. He's actually Cameron's brother, his half-brother. So they do have quite a few brothers. As you can see as well, he's taller, and that is because of the body he's on. So we'll get into that in a minute. So yeah, it's just really cool to have that posability. So could you imagine if you had that posability with all of them? That would be incredible for photos and stuff. I just feel like MJ can do it. We've seen them do it with Rainbow High. We've seen them do it with LOL OMG. So why can't you do this with the Bratz Boyz? The Bratz Boyz have been around for a long time, and really, they could have redeemed themselves. They should have done this when we had the Hayden Williams Cameron, which I've got him here. He's actually an entire new character I've created. He's actually Cameron and Chloe's son. So here is Odie. And Odin, he is my male gay character. He actually is in a relationship with this one. And yeah, he's just absolutely stunning. I love him. I love everything about him. His hair, just all of it. Absolutely adore it. So, but he should have been the first boy doll with articulation. They could have done it. All the girls had articulation in the arms. They should have done it for him. He was the same price as them. He should have had that elbow and wrist articulation. You can make them articulated yourself. There's many ways of doing it. I've seen people actually cut the arms off here, put wire in to make them bendable. It's great, but you do have those big gaps, and sometimes it's not aesthetically pleasing, especially if they have short sleeves or if they're, you know, doing a topless photo, because sometimes, you know, that's kind of cool to do. So yes, you can do that. You can try and match up other doll arms to them and try and, you know, incorporate those arms onto this body. It's a lot of faffing. I'm not going to do that to Odie. I have put Odie on an LOL OMG boy, which you can see in the video of him like just posing around, dancing, being silly in the video with the song Insane. So, and a lot of the like Odin's Boys pictures I've done, because he's in a boy band, he is on the LOL OMG body. So he is very poseable and he looks just really, really cool. So yeah, those photos are just really cool. Absolutely love him. He's beautiful. Let's mind you out the way. So yes, and now we're going to mind you out the way, Cameron. So bye. And get back in the other Cameron. With your guitar in the way. There we go. So yes, that's what I'd like to see. The first thing I'd like to see with Bratz Boyz is articulated arms. It just makes so much difference to them. You can pose them. It'd just be so much more interesting. So the second thing I'd like to see is more of a modern take of the boys. You know, the boys' fashion has been very, very experimental over the years. It's been very interesting. I've always saw the Bratz Boyz fashion as being more 90s to early 2000s era for most part of their clothing. Some of it I've seen more 80s look in their clothing, especially with patterns and stuff. Very disco-y themed. It's been great, but I'd like to see more modern themed. I mean, the Hayden Williams one, Cameron was very fashionable. He's very all about fashion, where I feel like Bratz Boyz hasn't been much about fashion in the sense of their personality. Like when you get a boys line, they usually dress similar, and I like it when characters, especially in the girls line, I like it when the characters are individual and not just the same representation, just in different colours and different styles. I like them having complete personality in their clothing of what they like as individuals. And I want to see that in the Bratz Boyz. And I think the best doll line would be for them to make a comeback and have a whole new doll line is Bratz Boys Night. And I feel like Bratz Boys Night could consist of them all having a game controller in their signature colours. So a gamer themed doll. They all have maybe some headsets or headphones. So something a bit like this. They can all have snacks and drinks. So something like this would be really, really cool. For the Bratz Boyz, they can all have a mobile phone. Oops. Each, which would be really cool in their signature colours. If they don't all have controllers, maybe some of them will have laptops to do gaming on, which I think would be a really cool accessory. So the boys in one outfit, let's face it, we're probably not going to get two outfits if we did get a boys line, because most of the girls lines we've got have been one outfit. But yeah, just a laptop would be great. And they all should have like a jacket or a hoodie. So something like this. This is Sasha's jacket. And it actually does fit the boys. It's a little tight around the hands, but it does fit. So I would love to see that. And definitely maybe. So I'm just going to bring in another Dylan a moment. So this Dylan is completely redressed. And he's actually in Rainbow High clothing. I do need to find some shoes to fit his aesthetic that I've got going on here. But yeah, he's just going to stand there a minute with no shoes on. He's going to stand there with no shoes on a minute. So yes, he's in this aesthetic. It suits him really well. I like it. Maybe, I think the colours for Dylan, I would love to see Dylan in more black and orange. So I feel like these colours on Dylan to represent his like nickname, his style, whereas Cameron's more red and black. His can be orange and black. Just you know, a few different colours for them. It doesn't necessarily have to be signature. I mean, this is not Rainbow High. They don't need to be strict with what colour goes with what character. But I do like orange and black with Dylan. So yes, I would like to see a gamer themed, because let's face it, gaming is such a big part of our lives now. Like I game, I'm not a big gamer. and more family games rather than things like Fortnite and stuff like that. But most of the generation, like younger generation that are younger than me, I talk to, a lot of them are still big gamers even into their adulthood. So, and gaming's such a big part of society. It's grown. It's just it's just a great way to really express yourself, really have fun. And I feel like just a gamer themed boy line would be incredible. They could either be at the same house gaming together or in their own bedrooms gaming together. And I think that would just be really, really cool. The articulation is needed and the gamer theme. I feel like that's the first step to test the waters to see how well the boys will be desirable, how well will they sell. It's just a great starting point because a lot of people tell me, we don't want Bratz Boyz, they're not popular, they don't sell. That's marvellous, that's your opinion, but actually a lot of doll collectors still collect boy dolls. And I love the boy dolls. I mean, I have probably 12 boys, maybe more. I'm not going to count them now. I love the Bratz Boyz. Completely love them. When I was younger, I used to pretend that the Bratz Boyz were in a boy band because I was obsessed with boy bands back then. So, and that's the thing. I feel like if you didn't do a gamers one, you could do Bratz Boyz band, which would be really cool because that would be like a love letter to the pop star line, but have 5 characters rather than 4 because I feel like it's, I feel like we need all 5 of these characters because they all have their own individual representation. I feel like it's needed. Bratz boy bands or Bratz boys night. If we could do a vote, what one would you want to see? This is just what I want to see. I mean, we've had Bratz Boyz with guitars before. It's been so cool, but a whole line of Bratz Boyz with guitars would be awesome. So now we're just going to move some of you out the way because I want to talk about Dylan, my second favourite Bratz boy. I mean, these two are my favourite characters out of all of them. Absolutely adore them. I do like Cade. But yeah, these two are my favourite. So let's have a little chat about Dylan. Dylan, so here are my Dylans. I was actually questionable a minute ago, like, are you a Dylan? Are you definitely a Dylan? Had to double check, but yes, he's a Dylan. He's like the beach Dylan, Sunkiss Dylan, something like that. Yeah, I think there was like 2 versions of Sunkiss line. So Sunkissed Summer and Sunkissed, I think. Don't quote me on that. But yes, so he's Dylan. And he's Dylan. And you're Dylan. And you're Dylan. Don't know if you notice much difference other than the hair. Obviously the face on this one because he's more of the older Dylan line, which I actually don't mind the screening because he matches up with the illustration of the animation, especially for the first movie. If you look back on the first movie, it's 2D animation and the boys do look like this. And I think, wow, it looks like they've just took that 2D cartoon and just shoved it in a doll. Brilliant. Absolutely love. And a quick one. I love it when you get some of the younger fans or some of the older fans who may be quite new to Bratz and they've looked at the 2D movie and gone, oh my god, why do they not have noses? Why do none of the Bratz have noses? I'm like, sweetie, look at all of the Bratz posters we've had over the years. Look at some of the new Bratz posters we've had. They don't have noses. It's very rare you see Bratz with noses, and if you do, it's just like a shadow of a nose. If anything, the Bratz Boyz animation, like the art on the box, have noses more than the girls do to really just define them, to make them look more, I don't know, manly maybe, I don't know, to make them look more male and more defiant. So I'm looking at the Bratz posters I have up and none of the girls that I can see have noses. And it's always been that way, so don't be freaked out. It's always been that way. Go have a look. Most of their posters do not have noses, and that's what I loved about Bratz. Like, even though the dolls had noses, the illustration was just something you didn't really see. So, and I love the 2D animation. I actually love the 2D animation more than the 3D animation. Just generally love it. I feel like there's more attention and more heart put into it than 3D animation. But anyway, getting back to the subject of Dylan. So I want to talk about Dylan because Bratz have just announced Bratzies, and you've got some different characters in the Bratzies line now, and our very first Bratzy boy, and I'm really glad they went for Dylan. But when I saw the photo, I was completely gobsmacked. You could see it's Dylan because he's dressed as a fox. That is his nickname. His face looked white. I thought, what the hell's going on here? He looks lighter than some of his actual Dylan dolls. What is going on? They've now dropped the video of the little Bratzies, and Dylan does look a little more tanned in the video compared to the photo. The photo, he did look very whitewashed. But he still doesn't look black. I know that being black, you don't have to have the same skin tone as, say, our beloved Bunny Boo. You know, you don't have to have the same skin tone as Bunny Boo to be a black person, to be a black character. Yeah, so Dylan doesn't necessarily have to be as dark as Sasha, but I would love to see him as dark as Sasha. We've had a couple of dolls over the years where he has been dark. Bratz Kids Dylan was really dark. Basketball Dylan was quite dark. There is a couple of other Dylans that have been darkish. I mean, some of my Dylans here are darker than the first edition of Dylan. So it'd just be great to see him darker. And I don't like how MJ are constantly playing around with his skin tone. I mean, I know they've been doing it a little with Sasha and quite a lot with Yasmin. And people are very angry about that. And I'm thinking, great, be angry. But why aren't we angry for Dylan right now? Why are we not angry for him? Because this is how light he was. If I just roll up. Actually, I'm going to do one better. Hang on. I'm going to take his shirt off a moment. This is the original Dylan. And his skin tone is olive to me. I've always seen him as more olive skin tone. Like if you compare him to, compare him to Ethan, I always thought him and Ethan were too close in skin tone growing up. But then you bring in Secret Date Dylan, and he is, don't know if you can tell in this light, he is slightly darker than Ethan. But if you bring in, so we just move you over a moment, we bring in you and just quickly remove your shirt a moment. Light in here is not great, but he is darker. Let me just lay you down. You might be able to notice it more. So yeah, I don't know if you can notice it that well, but yeah, this lighting's not great. I'm going to take a photo of them so you can see. I try and let the natural daylight just hit you guys a minute. So he is darker. His arms are darker. So let's just zoom in there. You can see his arm is darker. He is slightly darker. So some of the Dylans have been getting darker. He's not massively dark though, but if I just throw in a Cameron here. Give me a Cameron. Which Cameron? Just give me. This one. You know, you can see Cameron's tanned. The lighting in here is not great, but he's tanned, so he's not the same shade as Cameron. You can see he's not the same shade as Cameron. He's very close though. But this Dylan's definitely lighter. And then you got this Dylan who is darker. He looks like he's caught the sun. He is darker. And even this Dylan is darker. If we just move you over and pop you next to this original Dylan. So he's slightly darker. So his skin tone they have been playing with. Very much so. I will definitely be taking photos so you can see the difference. But they have been messing around with Dylan's skin tone a fair bit. I have noticed. And it annoys me because Dylan should be just pick a colour. Just pick a shade for him and leave it at that. And I do think he needs to be darker. I want to see him darker. He needs to be at least as dark as Sasha or just a little bit lighter than Sasha. We need that representation because it's very rare you get a dark Bratz boy. And we know MJ can do it because we've had LOL OMG boys and all three of them have been different shades of skin tone. So they can do it. So why not? You're just picking and choosing not to do it. Just come on. Dylan would be far more desirable if we saw him with darker skin. And there are different shades of skin tone out there. So Dylan doesn't necessarily need to be as dark as Sasha. But we need to see him darker, because right now he's not screaming he's the black doll, especially because a lot of fans are like, what? Wait a minute, Dylan's meant to be black? Like, a lot of people are like, are you sure? People are very much, are you sure? I mean, growing up, I always thought that Dylan was African American. I always thought that maybe, you know, he's got one parent that's light and one parent that's dark. So he's mixed race. That's what I've always thought about Dylan. But yeah, I just feel like Dylan needs the darker skin. And seeing this Bratzies, he just looks really pale. Maybe the Bratzies Dylan will look darker in person when the dolls are actually released and people start posting photos. I'm not into Bratzies, so I'm not too fussed about getting him. But I thought this is the first time we've seen something new to do with the Bratz Boyz. Something new. We've not seen anything new for the Bratz Boyz. We've only seen repos the Bratz Boyz. So to see a Bratz baby version of him, yes, it's a Bratzies version, so he's like a plushie. But to see that new Bratz boy is incredible. And they picked Dylan. Amazing, because, you know, Cameron gets a lot of attention. Cameron is my favourite, but it's nice to have the attention on the others, especially for Dylan, because I absolutely love Dylan. Dylan's my second favourite character out of the boys. Absolutely adore him. So just imagine a Bratz Boyz line that is a gamer themed, and Dylan's darker and they have articulation, or even a Bratz Boys Bands doll line and Dylan is dark. I'd love to see that. And I'd love to see Dylan with either short afro hair like this or micro braided hair. Definitely would love to see that again, like the basketball Dylan. He's just such a beautiful, beautiful doll version of Dylan. Absolutely gorgeous. So yes, but for those of you that are confused to say, what, Dylan's meant to be black? Yes, he is the black boy character. He's always been the black boy character. He's just been terribly whitewashed in the animation, in the movies, in the doll art of him. And then occasionally MGA is like, you know what, today we're going to make him really dark. Here you go. Make up your mind, you know. I just love that, the thought of him having a beautiful tone like Sasha. Just so beautiful. Like, how handsome would Dylan be with this skin tone? Another thing I'm going to talk about is body types. So there are two, I want to say there's 3 Bratz Boyz body types, because I know in that first date Yasmin, I can't remember the boy Bratz name, but I remember him being tall, a bit more wider in the chest, and he's really tall, really desirable. Everybody wants him. Well, I'm not sure if the 2010 boy line is the same body type, because they are taller, and I will show you that now. So, the Bratz Boyz body. Let's have a little conversation, shall we? So this is the traditional Bratz Boyz body type. This is, you know, how their body type looked, the shape of them, and the height. No matter what shoes they wore, they usually were the same height. Like so. Sorry, just thought I heard the door then. Yeah, so this is the Bratz Boyz body. Usually they're the same height, no matter what shoes they wear. And then you bring in 2010 body. And as you can see, there's a massive difference. So here, yes, it also depends on the shoes they wear as well. That makes them even more taller. So here they've got a wider chest area, and their shoulders are actually wider as well. Their defiance on their arm is not as shapely, but still really cool. Their hand mold is different. For those of you who didn't know, the hand seems a bit slimmer. The hands seem a little less shapely and detailed. Like, you know, I feel like their hands were more detailed back then with these ones compared to these ones. So yeah, I just feel like they're more defiant. But what I love is that these bodies make them taller. So as you can see here, this Dylan and this Kobe have the same body, but because he's wearing flat shoes, he's shorter. But he is about the same height as Dylan, who's wearing big clumpy shoes. Now Dylan is wearing the same shoes as Cameron, and you can see just the height difference on the same body type. So he is taller. His shoulders up here, his shoulders down there. He is taller. So it also depends on the shoes. The problem is with these bodies is that the original boy Bratz shoes don't fit. The boots will just about stay on, but the actual shoes that look more like these do not stay on. So they will just drop off. There's no hope on them staying on unless you add a bit of blue tack. Sometimes clear elastics around the leg pegs will help keep the shoes on. So, but I love these body types, and I'm assuming these body types are pretty much the same as that boy that Yasmin goes on a date on. I'm assuming they are, because it's the same shape, so I'm assuming that's another reason why he's so tall. I mean, maybe he is taller. If anyone can compare him to a 10th anniversary or 10-year doll, especially the masquerade, like the masquerade boys, they've got these bodies. So that's where this has come from. He's the 10th anniversary. He's got the 10th anniversary Cameron body, because I've put 10th anniversary Cameron on the smaller body. He's 10th anniversary Dylan. He's just a random Kobe who's got the masquerade pen body, because I had a pen but he was damaged, so I got rid of that head and kept his body. I do have another pen which I've actually called him Caden, who is Eleanor's partner in crime. So yeah, I just love the body types. So the abs are less defiant, they just don't look as defiant, but I love the shape of these bodies more. Though their arms don't go as flat down compared to these ones. I feel like their arms move better on these ones. The snap knees, that's a good one actually. Let's check the knees. There's the snap knees on them. So his knee bends, so the 10th anniversary or the masquerade doll line knees definitely snap more than the original. So that's really cool. So he'll be able to sit down in a chair almost. So yeah, I really like that. I like the whole snap knees things, especially when it works out really well. I have that gripe with some of the newer girl dolls. Some of them have snap knees that are really good, and some you can't pose them for anything. It's really frustrating. So, but yes, I love this Bratz Boyz body. And like I say, if you put on the chunky kind of boots that Bratz Boyz have, they will be taller. So if you want a taller Bratz boy, you want to go for the 2010 boy body to the 2013-2014 masquerade boys, because I think that's the last time we ever get new boys before, and that's only 3 boys before yeah, I think that's the last time we've ever got new boys. Since then, I mean, we've had the new version of Cameron and Hayden Williams line, but we haven't had any new characters from the boys. And even then, they could have chose that opportunity to have a really dark, like black boy. You do have Brogan, who is slightly darker than Cameron, from what I can remember. He's down the stairs. I'll get him later, but yeah, he's currently down the stairs. So, but yes, I really do love this body type on the Bratz Boyz, especially adding articulation so they can pose and bend. Just take your hand out your pocket, Cameron, and yeah, you can just really pose them. So I'd love to see this boy body, but with the feet pegs of these ones so they can wear the traditional shoes. And yeah, I just love the tallness. So if we get in Sasha here and just pop her between these two. Your hair is so beautiful. She's so sweet. So you can see the tallness, like comparison. Kobe here is taller than her, whereas if you bring in a traditional Bratz size boy. They are about the same height, so there is that height difference. So if you want the boy to be a little taller than the girl, these Bratz bodies are definitely for you. You don't have to try and find that rare, beautiful boy doll that I still can't remember the name of. It's not Brogan, not Bryce. What is his name? I can't remember. I haven't got a clue. I don't know. But he's very, very cute. So you don't have to necessarily go out and find him if you want a tall Bratz boy, you know. I mean, Cameron's shoes are slightly taller than his, so Cameron looks even taller to her compared to Kobe. So yes, I would love to see. I mean, if we got new Bratz boys and they had the traditional bodies, that's fine. But I do want to see them with articulation. I feel like that improvement will just help sell the Bratz boys even more, make them more appealing, especially if they are more of a modern themed. Either a boy band theme or Bratz Boyz rock stars. Let's put your shoesies back on. I took your shoe off. What was I thinking? Sorry, Ethan. Pop your shoe on. You know, actually, we won't worry about you. Yes, we will worry about you. We'll just pop you back on that. Can't get your shoe on. There you go. We've got the other Ethan up here now. Got a Dylan there. We need a Cameron. What Cameron shall we put up here? We'll just put you back up there. And who are we missing? Who are we missing? We're missing Cade. Staring like, who are we missing? Are we missing someone? There we go. So yes, so that's the difference in their skin tones, the difference in their bodies, and what I would like to see from Bratz Boyz in the future. The changes I want to see to Dylan. I want Dylan to have darker skin and micro braids or short afro hair like his original Dylan doll had. This one, woohoo. And articulated arms for the Bratz Boyz, and I feel like either a Bratz Boyz Night gamer themed doll line or a Bratz Rockstars boy bands line would be really, really cool. We need a new Bratz Boyz line. Just give us one Bratz Boyz line. Let's see how they do. Meet these expectations. I want good details. Like, come on. I mean, the details in where are you? I've lost one. Who are you? There you are. The LOL boy dolls. You know, that this jacket's got little pockets on. I love that. I love when we got the Always Chloe and she had the pockets, and I think one of the others on the Always line had pockets. I can't remember, but they've got functional pockets, and that's what I loved about Bratz Boyz trousers back then. They had functional pockets. Like, his pockets are functional. You've seen Cameron, he's got functional pockets. He can put his hands in his pockets. I love that. And I want to see them with hoodies, with hoods that can actually go up. This LOL OMG hoodie can. I've actually removed the hood off of it because I used it for something, so I am going to be stitching that back on. And yeah, I want to see details, maybe some embroidery rather than printed. Plastic buttons, I want to see that. I want to see all of that. I mean, this is embroidered. Rainbow High. This is what I want to see. I want to see uniqueness to each of their characters. I want to see their personality shine through their clothing and the accessories they come with. Gamer themed with headphones, headsets, come with little drinks and snacks, little mobile phone, either a game console controller or a laptop to do gaming, a hoodie or jacket, and just a really cool outfit for representation. Maybe even a little keychain, like I put this keychain, made this keychain here. It's like a little rubber thing I got with an order, and I made it into a keychain. So, little keychain for the guitar. So yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys think. If we got Bratz Boyz line, what do you want to see regarding beloved Bratz characters? What kind of line do you want to see? If you could choose between a Rockstar boy band line or a Bratz Boys Nights gamers line, like which one would you want to see? That's what I want to see. And I want to see a big difference with Dylan. I want to see Dylan with dark beautiful skin, and I want to see him with micro braids or the little short afro kind of hair. Need to see that. Desperately want to see it. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the future holds for Bratz. But please, MGA, just give us a Bratz Boys line, even if it's just one. We need this. I need this. Heal our inner child, please. And show people that boy dolls can be just as desirable, just as cool, just as amazing as girl dolls. It shouldn't have to be just about the girl dolls, the girl characters. Let's have some male representation. I'm all for it, and I'm ready for it. I'm going to love you and leave you now, and I look forward to any feedback or any questions about boy dolls, about their, the body types, shoe types, skin types, clothing, just anything like that, really. I've had people ask me, was it hard to reroute a boy doll? The heads are tough, but I didn't break my needle because of my technique I used. And I have rooted 2 boys. So I've given this Cameron, which is 10th anniversary Cameron hair. Not perfect, I know. And I've given Bratz Cameron his hair, which I like big crazy hair. You don't like it, that's fine. I like big crazy hair. I do want to give this Dylan some micro braids. I have got a plan for him. I want to give him the little micro braids so he looks a bit like Dylan in the photo they had of an updated version of all the dolls all the girls and guys on the bleachers. I think it was only Cameron and Dylan that featured in that one. But Dylan had those little braids and I absolutely was all for it. So I'd like to try and do that with this doll, if possible. That is my future project I'm hoping to do. But anyway, thank you for watching. I love you all and take care, guys and dolls. Bye.